damn phones. Babylons can't crack the code.
Welcome back. I'm Brian. This is B-MoneyTrading. So I'm giving a quick update. I've been really busy through the holidays, so I haven't really uploaded anything. I did empty out my account, a majority of it, around 2,500, right before Christmas. I'm looking at starting a different strategy and seeing how well I can do with it. And so I just wanted to lower the account and start off small and see how we do with it. And so with that said, you know, I've had family and friends staying with me for the holidays, so I've been just behind on stuff. But I have been trading, and when I've been trading, I started learning how to trade credit spread options. And so I've been doing put credit spreads as well as call credit spreads, and I've actually been doing pretty well on it. And so it's just still too early to tell though, as far as how well I have it down, and you know, only time will tell. But up to this point, it has been paying off pretty good. And so you can see this is today, and I did a day trade today on the SPY. I did a what was it, a put credit spread for 248, and I sold the 248 I believe option and bought the 247 option. And if you know how credit spreads work, then you end up selling one and then you buy one at a closer strike price, kind of just as insurance to cover you. So this is what I did today. You know, I was pretty stoked right at the end. So I sold that one. I made 50 bucks off of it, and then I bought another one once later on in the day. Once I saw the SPY hit the 251 area, I believed that it was gonna pull back after that. And so you can see here right before market close, I was up overall, but it's all right. You know, we're in after hours right now, and the SPY is below the 250. So basically I sold the 251 call and bought the 250, and so just to kind of cover me, or no, I'm sorry, this is backwards. I'm still getting it down. So I sold the 250 call and I bought the 251. The 251 is more like kind of like an insurance in case it does go above that. So we can see after hours though, in options, they stopped trading right at market close. And so ideally that would be down a lot more in my favor. And so I'd be up a lot more right now with it being at 248, $248. With that said, so I've traded a call spread or a credit spread on Nvidia right before Christmas. I made like 80 bucks off of that. And then I did one SPY, made some money off of that. I did another one, I can't remember what stock it was, and I took a loss on that, like 50 bucks. And then I did anyhow, I know I did Bank of America. Oh, Nike was one that I did, and I made some money on that one. And then Bank of America, I took a loss on it. Now I don't know if this is because of the holidays or if it's just generally like this, but I had problem getting out at the price I wanted to get out at on the option, which was only a few dollar gain. And so finally I just said screw it and put in a way lower amount and got out of it and took like a $4 or $6 loss, something like that. And so then today I got into the SPY right before we went out for Christmas and I'll go ahead and pull it up so that you can see if it's gonna let me. And history, why is it not letting me show more of my history? This is the most recent one. Sorry, give me 1 second. We'll just go okay, this will do it. Sorry. So this is gonna let me pull up all my history. Here we go. So we can see December 31st, right before market closed, and literally like 2 minutes. I believe it, and this is Central Standard Time. I bought at 257 credit spread at 550, 10 contracts on the SPY, and then I turn on, and literally 2 minutes later at 59 259. A minute before market close, sold them for 500, and because they were a put credit spread, I wanted it to go down, and so because it's $50 lower, that means I made $50. Basically I'm betting against it. It'll make more sense later, and I'll go in more detail about put credit spreads and call credit spreads. But basically on a put credit spread, you want the value of it to go down, and that means you're making money on the premium. And so basically I made a quick $50, and then today, this morning, I bought 5 contracts on the SPY, and this was another put credit spread, and I bought it for $250, and of course it went down to $50, and so I sold it at 200, made another 50. And so then later on in the day, you can see 3 hours ago, so this was 7 and 6 hours ago, I did that, and then 3 hours ago I bought this one, and then I bought one at 55, and then I bought a second one at 60. And it, sometimes it's just so tough. That's the only thing I don't like. I've noticed trading credit spreads on Robinhood is that sometimes it's tough to get into the positions as well as get out of them. And so I couldn't imagine doing like an iron condor on Robinhood, and how tough it would be to find the liquidity to get out of it as well as get into one. But with that said, maybe it won't be so hard as we get later into the month and people get back from their vacations from the holidays and get back into the market. But so we see all that. So I'm still currently in this trade, and I'm up in it, and if it opens up down like around the price it's at now, I'd expect to be up around at least $20, if not more, tomorrow. But we'll see tomorrow when it comes where we're at. And then we can see for the week. So like I said, this is back on December 27th. This was before I started really doing the credit spreads and put spreads, or the call spreads and put spreads. And we can see how much that I've been able to grow the account in just such a short time, that I'm up 23% the past week in the account at $260 now. Way earlier I was pretty stoked because it's 25%, but unfortunately it didn't close down. But I expect that if it opens up at this point tomorrow at the 248 area, right around that, then I would look to be up around I'd be around 1400 in my account. And so we'll just continue to see the strategy until the volume picks up in the market. I don't think I'm really going to do any credit spreads, whether call or put, on any stock. I'm just going to stick to the SPY and continue to do it in the SPY until we can see the volume pick up in the market. I'll give you a quick breakdown on why I did what I did as far as the most recent ones, the one I did this morning, and then the one I'm in now, and my thoughts behind it. So we can see this morning, so we've seen after hours, and this was December 31st, that in after hours it came up and hit this 251 area, and so I believe that we're gonna come back and test it. And so I bought a credit spread for 248, and I believe it was 248 and 247 was the spread. It was a put spread, and so I ended up selling way early before it got up here to the 251. It was above the 248, and that's why I made the $50. Took that off the table, and then later on in the day, I went and I laid back down and got some more sleep, and then I woke up around I guess it was like 12:30 or so, and it was up here hitting the 251 area. And so I didn't even get up and look at the chart. I just put in my order on my phone and got it filled, and then as we got later on closer to close, I put another one, and this is when I decided that we're going to test it, but I didn't think we are going to be able to break it. And so I put a call credit spread in, and so I put it in for the 250, and yeah, for the 250, and so we can see that it's been selling off, and we'll just double check I'm kind of all over the place. I just, yeah. So you can see it's for the 250 and 251. So I bought 251s and I sold two 250s. And so you know, my credit, if I hold these till expiration and it expires below 250, then I'll make 115. Or I can sell at any time. And lately, I've been selling and go ahead and take it off just because the market's been so volatile. And you can see that, you know, just looking at the charts. And so with that said, this is where I'm at, you know, as far as I'm doing the credit spreads, and they've been working out great. And you know, I prefer, so far of what few strategies I do know in options, this is probably the one that I favor the most, because I'm collecting premium on these options. And so basically I know my max risk on these as well as my max profit, and so it's easier for me to manage my risk on this. And so, you know, for me, that's one of the things I've learned so far, as I've started to trade options, and just overall in trading, is just focusing on risk more than anything. You know, more importantly in trading these options, making sure that there's enough liquidity to get out of these positions. Because there have been a few times I've been very frustrated that I've had trouble getting out at the price I went to, and I had to take a few dollars less of profit in order to be able to get out. And so with that said, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I hope everyone has had a good Christmas and a good New Year, and just looking forward to this year in the market and seeing you know, how good we can grow the account, you know, especially trading these options that you know, I'm thinking that how I have been trading options so far since I've started, since, you know, I've been doing these credit spreads, that it's likely for me to be able to grow the account very quickly, given that. So right now I'm currently holding 2 options in the SPY, and we can see I'm holding these 2 options. And what else was I going to tell you? Oh, and so the average price I got them for is 57.50. So as they go down in value, then I gain profit. So with it closing at 56, you know, that's why it's showing them up. And so the more it goes down, the more value, the more money I'll collect on the premium. So go ahead and pull up the SPY really quick, just on the 1 minute. So we're at, so we're at 248 area, and I'm expecting that will open around that area below tomorrow. But you know, I've really been keeping an eye also on the news, the fundamental news, as well, while trading the SPY, and it's helped out a lot as far as getting a good idea of market sentiment and which way I'm going to decide to go on the trade, and where I believe it's going to make its turn at, and either go up or down. So that's it. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Hope you all have a great day, and I will see y'all soon. I'll try and post up a video tomorrow. It's just, things have been kind of crazy, and I should though have a lot more time to start doing some more videos, as well as editing. This one's not gonna have any editing in it, because